Good evening out there in podcast land. My name is Troy Haynes, and this is the Raise the Bar podcast, the Sky High and Fly Jump Lab podcast, where we pretty much talk about high jump, long jump, triple jump, pole vault, track and field, uh, power training, anything that will enable us to raise the bar a little bit higher, jump a little bit farther, run a little bit faster. And Tonight, we are brought to you by one of my favorite sponsors, me. Before we get too far into the podcast, I just want to bring up again, I'm an affiliate of Brad Kearns at bradnutrition.com, or I'm also pimping for Brad with his BRAD podcast. And but for the most part, just talking here about his nutrition products, one of which is a favorite of mine, staple food, the whey protein isolate that Brad has championed for a while now. It is a top high quality protein whey isolate made from 100% Wisconsin dairy cows and easily digestible, very good for you. And you can use it to supplement your protein intake if you don't like eating meat. Tonight, our guest is a young lady that I have worked with now for 2, 3, 4 years. I've lost track. She works at Redondo High School with me here in the Southland. It's an Los Angeles school and highly competitive school. Beautiful campus. Looks a lot like a little junior college. And Jordan originally went to Stanford University, where she was a jumper. So we are rivals in the old Pac-12, which no longer exists. But George's a lot younger than I am. She has at least one child. I remember her missing parts of one season due to being a mom. And she may have more, I'm not sure. But she's just a sweetheart. Kids love her. And she does a great job. Her long and triple jumpers are always doing well. She qualifies a lot of kids for CIF and pushes them to do well and has a wealth of knowledge. So we're going to talk shop a little bit. One of the main reasons for doing this was well, there's a couple. I never really get to see Jordan work. She's down on one end of the track where the long and the triple jump pit is. I'm on the other end of the track where the high jump pit is. And we just don't cross paths. She's there more often than I am. I'm only there one day working with the high jumpers. So we tend to jump on the days that I'm there, and that means we're on the other end. We could, run up and down the bleachers, go in the weight room, all that kind of stuff, but they do that on the other days when I'm not there. So I don't usually get to see Jordan work. So, and usually, unless it's just for a couple minutes before practice, I tend to be the late guy. As far as staying too late with my athletes. But the only chance I really get a chance to talk with Jordan, the only time I really get a chance to talk to Jordan is before practice, and usually just for a minute or two. So I'm going to try to change that up here and spend some time with Coach Jordan Justice originally from Stanford. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back with that conversation. So, Coach Jordan Justice, how are you?
Hi. I'm doing great. Thank you so much. Yeah, I just got the three babies to bed and
Three. Oh, so
yeah.
I couldn't remember. I did a preamble here and I told the listeners, and again, we're here on another episode of Raise the Bar with Coach Jordan Justice from
Yay.
Redondo High School. And I couldn't remember. I knew you had at least one because I remember one of the seasons
Yeah.
being interrupted by the birth of one of your children. So
Yeah.
give us names and ages and all that stuff. And
Oh, thanks. Yeah. So we got Micah. She's our oldest. She's 7. And then we have Jet. He's 4. And we have Jax. He is 18 months.
okay,
Yeah.
awesome. So
Yeah.
JAX for Jax.
That's right. Yep.
Cool. It's almost like Ajax. Just,
Yeah, it is.
just
Yeah.
he's a Jax, but yeah. So
He is. Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any kids?
I do. I do.
You
My oldest
do.
and only, my best and only son, AJ, he
Wonderful.
was born in 98. So he's what,
Oh,
28? Just got married in June or
ah,
late May. It was late May, 30th, the 30th.
oh, wow. Congratulations to him and you all.
I know, right? Well,
That's
I told
great.
him, I said, if you'd have waited just one more day, it could have been a June wedding.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
had to rush back from the state meet. So, oh,
Yeah.
did he vet the date with me at that time? No.
No, no.
Turned out to not be a huge thing because
That's
all
good.
my guy jumpers didn't make it to the final.
Okay.
But
Okay.
that's a whole nother story, which I'm still obviously carrying a grudge about.
Mm.
So, Coach, I was also telling
Yeah.
the listeners that I don't usually get a chance to talk to you. You are one of the
Yeah.
nicest, sweetest people I've ever met, and you have to,
Thanks.
like say hi for just a couple minutes, and then I'm
Yeah.
telling everybody you're on one end of the track, and I'm on the other end of the track. You
That's
know,
right.
summer, you're on the other end of the track, and I'm on this end of the track, and we never seem to be in the same place. I remember one summer we kind of did the warm up drills
That's
little
right.
together, and okay, she's got A skips and B skips just like me. Okay, so but I
Yeah.
usually get to watch you work your trade. So
Mm.
before we start talking about
Same.
what you're doing with the kids at Redondo, tell us a little bit about you growing up and where and how you got started in track and field and which high schools and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah, thanks. Well, first of all, thanks so much for having me on here. This is the
Oh yeah,
first podcast I've ever done, so I'm super
cool.
excited. Yeah, I grew up in Wyoming, Casper, Wyoming, and I attended Kelly Walsh High School. It's interesting because in Wyoming, soccer and track are the same season in high school. And I had done soccer, played soccer all through my childhood. Loved it. I was a sweeper, and at my eighth grade track meet, I was so nervous for the 200. I looked at my dad and I said, "Enjoy this race because it's the last you'll ever see me compete in track and field." And then I actually beat my nemesis in the 200. And so I actually kind of was like, oh, well, okay. I actually enjoy this a little bit.
Right.
And then the high school team had a pretty big, star sweeper already. So after that big 200-meter race, I thought, I'll go ahead and give it a try. I'll go ahead
Right.
and give track a try. And then, tried out triple jump my first year and high jump and won state my freshman year. And I don't think I quite like realized, what that
How
meant.
hard that was. Yeah.
Yeah. And then sophomore year, our head coach had me try out hurdles and fell in love with those, the hundreds and the 300 hurdles both. And then my junior year, I was recruited by several colleges, which was a really cool experience. And ended up going to Stanford and competing there. I tore my Achilles my sophomore year, so I ended up competing was there 5 years for the red shirt year,
Right.
came back and competed and finished out my track career there.
Wow.
And then got into education and coaching from there. So it's been a wild ride. It's been a wonderful, wonderful ride, but
So growing
wild.
up in
Yeah.
Wyoming, how much
Yeah.
cleaner is the air in Wyoming than it is here?
Oh, I mean, infinitely cleaner. It's
Yeah.
also super dry. It's super
Yeah.
dry. We joke that there are two seasons. It's very hot summers, and then boom, you got snow. I had a lot of track meets in
Really?
snow and rain a little bit, and a lot of times it's the windiest place in the nation. So that
Okay.
could either help or hinder
Right.
the track.
Right.
Yeah, depending on where you are. But so yeah, but the air is definitely, so much cleaner. It's beautiful.
Oh,
Beautiful there. Wide open spaces.
I've
So
never been. I need to get
yeah.
there for sure. Well,
Yeah,
I
it's
was going to ask you,
beautiful.
you covered a lot of a range there. You said you did high
Yeah.
jump, long jump, triple jump, hurdles, 200 I heard in there. So
Yeah.
did any of these schools show any interest in you being a heptathlete?
Yes, definitely. So Stanford recruited me as a hep. I was out there trying to learn the javelin that summer before freshman year.
Right.
Also the shot put. And then I ran a pretty lousy 800 my senior year just to try to figure it out.
Right.
And when I got to Stanford, the head coach at the time, so Coach Mack, who's an amazing coach, recruited me. And then the head coach, who I was so fortunate to compete for, Coach Edric Floriel, looked at me and said, I think you need to gain about 10 pounds of muscle. And was throwing me muscle milk at every chance. Lifted a lot of weights. And then so I was kind of gearing up to be a multis and a triple jumper.
Right.
But after I tore my Achilles, I came back and really focused on hurdling. And then once it was, I had fully, rehabilitated, I got back into mainly just triple jump and long jump.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you did your rehab, weird thought
Yeah.
in my head, you were an undergrad at the time, so
Yeah.
did you have them do it or did you have your own private people do it?
Oh, good question. No, I was super fortunate there to have all the resources. They did it. The Stanford Athletic Department. They had an incredible physical therapist and everyone. The all the trainers set me up with everything I
Yeah.
needed. I was really lucky to have all those resources there. Yeah.
Yeah. See, it's weird too because I went to UCLA and we never
Yeah.
once we went against Stanford, but you guys always came down to us. Like I never went
Mm,
ever. We went to Cal once
okay.
sophomore year, and then my senior year they came down to us. I remember jumping against you guys, but
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever saw his name up on the wall there. A guy named Brian Marshall who
Sounds familiar.
jumped
Yeah.
75 to
Oh
win
my
Pac
gosh.
10s my senior year in 1986.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah,
Wow.
I had beat him in the dual meet earlier in the year,
Oh,
and he stood up
nice.
at Pac-10s. He just had this monster day. He just went off, and I was
Wow.
like, "Holy crap! This guy just jumped
Jeez.
5, and I'd never seen him jump, more than 7 feet before." So it's just
Incredible.
pretty crazy. But yeah, that's the only name I can remember from
Okay.
Stanford. But
Cool.
other than football, because I'm a big Jim Harbaugh fan. So
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
I was there the same year as Andrew Luck, and a lot of those players was really what's cool about it too is the athletes are all within, the same training room and doing
right,
the same stuff. So I'm really good friends. One of my best friends now she was a softball player, and then I know Andrew pretty well. And it's just really cool, all the people that
yeah,
you run into through to track world and athletics and
yeah.
really cool. Yeah.
Sure, yeah, that's similar with me. I was very count myself very fortunate to be at UCLA during the boom period for football for sure.
Oh, cool.
Terry Donahue was the coach. My
Yeah.
1982 was my freshman year at UCLA. So in
Cool.
the fall, we played Michigan and beat them in Michigan, and we were way behind and came from behind to beat them in Ann Arbor, which was
Oh,
great. And then we ended up
wow.
playing them again in the Rose Bowl. And in the Rose Bowl, we just stomped them. And then
Okay.
we ended up winning. I think we never lost a bowl game, and we went to bowl games every year that I was there, and we won like 3 Rose Bowls. And so it was like, oh, this is just the way it is,
Yeah.
around here. It's like
Yeah.
the Rose Bowl, we win the Rose
Sure.
Bowl.
Yeah, that's just the norm.
And Reggie Miller was playing basketball at the time over
Oh,
there. So
yes.
I would bump into Reggie every once in a while.
Wow. That's
I'm
cool.
sure he wouldn't remember me now, but because he went
Oh,
on to
that's
greater
cool.
and greater fame. Um, he's every bit as tall and as skinny as he looks. Like
Yeah.
6'6", looked like he weighed 160 pounds,
Yeah.
But yeah, you just get to meet so many athletes,
Hmm.
and it's awesome.
So cool.
About you, I had people ask me, because it's a college, and they'll go, "Oh yeah, you gonna join a frat?" And I was
Yeah.
always like, "Nah." I go, "I don't know. I think I'm in the biggest frat on campus."
Exactly.
If you're on one of the athletic teams,
Hmm.
I'm sure you had that experience, but I would
Yep.
wear my training stuff around, just the big baggies,
Yep.
have the XXL UCLA athletics. That was it. You could have been a football player, basketball, it didn't
Hmm.
matter. But I think it might have said track on it, or of course, it always looks like something for track. And I just
Yep.
remember people would come up to me and go, "You're on the track team?" I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, and they're just like, "Oh, wow," and you're like, I'm just like, there's 70 guys on the track team, and I was like number 7 on the depth chart when I walked on as a freshman. So I was like,
Wow.
yeah, I'm on, but I
Super
had to
cool.
walk on, coming out of high school. So I
Wow.
heard you say recruited. I
Super cool.
laughed. I'm like, I did all my own recruiting. I wrote them a letter
Oh my gosh,
here
impressive.
and I said, yeah, I want to come to UCLA. I jumped, what did I jump? I jumped 6'8" as a junior. And,
Wow.
I told them my goals. I want to jump 7 feet. I want to come there because Del Davis and Lee Balkin are there, these great names. And they sent my letter back and said, you're late. The applications were last week.
Oh
I'm like,
no.
I didn't come from a family that I was in
Oh,
my family
yeah,
college. So I
yeah,
had no idea how everything worked. And
sure.
it was a little bit different back then. But then my senior, I jumped 6'10" and 3/4, went to state. And then of course after
Awesome.
that, they got back to me. So
Yes, yeah,
that was
that caught their attention.
nice, but
Yeah.
still it wasn't there was no ride, no nothing like that. It was just
Mm,
you can walk on if you want. And yeah, I asked Bob Larson, the famous coach, uh, the guy that coached the last two NC2A teams there that won championships, and I said,
yeah.
what does it take to get a scholarship? And he laughed. He goes, and he goes, oh, you're serious? And I'm like, because I was, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't know. What does it take to get a scholarship around here? And
Yeah.
well, you jump 7'2" and we'll talk. So I was like, my
Okay.
freshman year I was terrible, and my junior year I popped a 7'2" against Cal, and walked into
Nice.
his office Monday morning and sat in his office until he showed up. And he said,
Good for you. Yeah.
"You want some money?" And I said, "Absolutely." So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Good.
nothing compared to what anything is now. I think when I went to UCLA, it was $400 a quarter in rent. It
Wow.
was ridiculous. Now it's like thousands and thousands of dollars.
Oh man. Yeah. That's wild. It's
Yeah.
wild. Yeah.
And they
Oh
paid a
man.
little bit of
Yeah.
my books. It
Yeah,
wasn't,
sure.
but then they only had 8 scholarships to spread over 70 people. So
Man.
I don't know. Tell us now, because you're gonna make me
Wow.
jealous, but tell me about your deal because you said they recruited you. So did you get a full ride and all that?
I did not at first. I can't remember exactly the percentage, but it might have been like 50 or 60. And then it was a performance-based scholarship.
Yeah.
So it was like, we have expectations of you, we see your potential, but you need to follow through in order to
Right.
increase it. So, um, I think that maintained through tearing my Achilles. And then my fifth year, I was finally got to the point where I was on a full ride, my fifth year. Yeah. So it
Okay.
just like steadily increased based on, not only the performance, but also just my persistence and, showing them that I'm committed. Yeah, I'm coming out here. So I think they want you to, at least they did when I was there.
Yeah.
They wanted to see your commitment, see your hard work, see how
Right.
well you can perform before they gave full ride. For people of my caliber, I know there were some incredible athletes that they were able to recruit, and I'm sure they were
Right.
full ride. But yeah,
Now, you said you won state as a freshman. Was that in the high jump, long jump, triple jump? Which one was it?
that was in triple jump.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So that was an interesting story. There was a girl, Brittany Woodard. She was a senior and I was a freshman. She was jumping 38s and I was nowhere near that. I was in the 35 category as a freshman in high school. And I remember just her getting really badly injured. I think it was like the day before we're really close to state, so she couldn't compete. And
Wow.
so I remember getting interviewed by the paper and just saying, I owe this to her. That's really unfortunate. She couldn't compete. She went off to a D1 college, and so I
Name
ended
sounds
up
familiar. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I ended up jumping 36.2, I think. And I think I knew at the time, like if she would have competed, she would have blown me away. So I think that's just what I kept remembering. Like, yeah, I'm proud, but you know,
Yeah.
she's incredible, and that's the caliber I want to get to.
Right.
And then it was cool. A girl came through 1 year younger than me who ran for high school Gillette in Wyoming, who has a really strong track team. And she became my rival, my biggest rival in triple, and she was the fastest 100, 200. Her name was Emily Moore. I don't know if that even rings any bell, but she was really a stud. And then my senior year, I beat her by a quarter of an inch in
Wow.
triple jump. So there's a picture of me in the stand, and she's crying, and I'm smiling, and it's yeah. I mean, that's track. We go back
Who's
and
the
forth.
champ
The
though?
year
Who's
before,
the
she beat
awesome?
me, and We
Yeah.
had a good camaraderie about it, but yeah, it was like that jump was 38 by then. I think it was like 38. Oh, I have it 38.8 and 3/4
Okay.
as a senior. And then improved in college, but
Well,
yeah, yeah. So it was um I enjoyed it.
what did you while you were there at Stanford, what was your major?
Communication.
Hmm.
Um, and then I minored in education, and they didn't have an education major. But my junior, senior year started going down that path, realizing that's what I wanted to do. Be a teacher, work in education, work with kids.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you ended up getting your teaching credential out here in California?
I did, yes, at Santa Clara
Okay.
University.
Santa
Yep.
Clara. And are you coaching or teaching at Redondo as well as coaching? Or do you just show up there after
I'm
the
not.
job's over?
Yeah, no, I'm not. I started out teaching at a charter school in Westchester, Wish Charter, and that's where I tried out coaching the, elementary middle schoolers for 3 years. And then I had our first kiddo and took a year off from teaching and then found a homeschool that I worked for. And then I just in the last month decided to take a pause from my career to focus on being a parent,
Right.
being a mom of the three little ones.
Right.
And so no, I worked for a homeschool charter school as like a homeschool teacher for families who homeschool, and then coach for Redondo. Yeah,
Okay. So you have not gotten a credential, or do you have one and you just haven't used it, or
a
how does
teaching credential.
yeah.
I did get it. Yeah, I got it the year after, or 2 years after Stanford, at Santa Clara. I did the Santa Clara teaching
Right.
credential program, and then taught first grade for 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, and then took a year off when I had our
Right.
first kiddo, and yeah.
Okay. So now is your credential then the K through 12 version?
It's a multiple subject, so elementary.
Okay.
Yes.
So K through 6 or
5.
5 depends on the school, right?
Depends on the school. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yep.
remember my school was always we were in sixth grade, then it was seventh through ninth, and then it was high school, and then
Yes.
some
Yeah.
have like what 0 through 5, like you say, K through 5, then 6 through 8, and then
Yeah.
9 through 12. Yeah, it depends.
It
So
depends. Exactly. Yeah. What grade do you teach?
at Garden Grove, this is year 30 for me at Garden Grove High
Wow.
School.
Oh my
And
gosh. Tip
first
of
part of
the
my
hat to
career, I was
you.
doing sciences, and then I switched out to PE. I had a
Cool.
kinesiology degree from UCLA, so that's where it probably should have been right from the beginning, but they needed science really bad. So
Mhm.
that's how I got hired.
Yeah.
And I eventually got out of the classroom and on, outdoors, which was way better for me.
Mm,
And, yeah,
yeah.
it's been PE for the last probably 17 years of the 30,
Wow.
maybe more.
Wonderful.
Maybe
And
more.
is that a middle school or high school?
Garden Grove High School, yeah. The biggest high
Wow.
school in Garden Grove, the oldest high school in Garden Grove. Since
Cool.
like 1928 or something. It's been there forever. When I was
Wow.
there, geez, I'd only been there for a little bit before we had our 75th anniversary. And now I also saw the 100 because I've been there so.
So cool. So
Yeah,
cool. That's
it's so weird
wonderful.
too. That 30 years, Jordan, is just like
Mm,
snap. I mean, I can't, it's hard to comprehend when I look back on it because I'm getting close to retiring and I'm just like, man,
wow.
it doesn't seem that long ago, you know?
Wow. Yeah. Well, as time goes by, it does seem to really speed up. It's
Yeah.
bonkers. And when you have kids, that's very apparent. I
Yeah.
mean,
Hmm.
it's wild. I
Yeah.
can't believe it's December already. Like it's wild. Yeah.
Oh,
But
I
yeah,
know.
I hear you.
Yeah, you got a lot on your plate coming up with Christmas and
Yeah.
all these kids and get
Yes.
those presents
Yeah,
tucked away. Yeah. Wow.
for
So
sure.
tell me this now,
Yeah.
when you went to college at Stanford, what was the biggest change from high school? Like when you
Mm,
walked onto campus, coming from Wyoming and everything, and then all of a sudden you're wandering around, the Bay Area up at Stanford and walking around campus. What was the
yeah.
biggest change, biggest adjustment, biggest eye opener?
That's a great question. Man, I would say just the caliber of athletes, um, and then the brilliant people all around. It was really eye-opening. I mean, I have so many emotions about it. I think number one is gratitude. I mean, to have that experience. So the biggest eye-opener was how incredible the athletes were
Right.
day one. And then just how intelligent people are there.
Yeah.
Um, and how hardworking everyone is. Everyone works so hard. Um, and I think it did feel a bit like um, going from a big fish in a small pond to a big fish in a big pond. And it was an adjustment for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
But one where I at first wasn't sure, had that imposter syndrome a little bit.
Yeah.
But as time went on, was able to realize, I deserve to be here.
Right.
Um, but it was an adjustment
Yeah.
figuring that out. Yeah, with both athletics, I think, and academics.
What about the changeover from the training in high school to college?
Yeah. Yeah. So in high school, I was very committed, and we can get to that with high schoolers maybe later, but I chose to go to off-season track and training, and I was really lucky to have incredible coaches. We had a high school sprint coach who took time out of his day, and it was very, it's optional. It was like four of us training in the fall together, and he would just guide it. He would do the workouts with us. Um, Really, like, I think that really helped, me succeed because I worked hard all year at it. And then our high school coach was very positive, very knowledgeable. He's been coaching also for, decades. He's still there. And Coach Willie, he is incredible. And then my jumps coach was a wonderful woman, Coach Hagar. So I think they pushed me really hard into training. We, especially for like the 300 hurdles, I think he had this one infamous workout called the Clyde Hearts where I threw up every time, it was like really
Right.
tough. But then you get to college and it's the consistency. It's that hard multiple times a week. So you're like, oh, in high school I got this one hard workout
Right.
every week or a couple weeks, and they push me really hard, but I'm doing it. I'm choosing to be there. And then in high school, it's like it's such a next level
Yeah.
where you show up on time, you do this workout, you lift these weights, you show us, that you deserve to be here, that you're committed. Consistency is key.
Right.
And man, yeah, I mean, it was like out the gate, fall training.
Mhm.
We had golf course hills, 7 a.m. If you
Yeah.
don't make the time, you got to add another one. People
Yeah.
were puking left and right. So it was just, I think I knew what hard was, but on a consistent level from day one, the commitment of it, it was incredible. Yeah.
I was stunned because at Millikan High School here in Long Beach, it was
Hmm.
school. We had actually won CIF football like in 77 and then in 80, which was my sophomore year, they won it. And so we had a pretty good school because in the Long Beach area is Long Beach Poly. So for us to win
Yeah.
anything, you always had to go through Poly and
Yeah.
either to get through league and or see them again in the playoffs. And
Yeah.
like my senior year, we beat them in track, which was rare.
Wow. Wow.
We had
Yeah. They're so strong in track.
we
Yeah.
beat them out in track, which I found amazing. And
Hmm.
but it was our weight room was a joke. It was like
Yeah.
a one dip bar. We had one universal machine, which had, the seated press with the handlebars. And
Yep.
it's like you should have been at the YMCA, and then one squat bar. I remember
Oh
not
boy.
a rack, just a bar sitting,
Yeah.
you know, and I believe metal weights. I don't think we had any rubber weights. So and this is
Yeah.
1980. I started, high school as a sophomore, and then by the time I graduated, that weight room hadn't changed. And then, I walked
Hmm.
into the weight room at UCLA, and there's just
Oh,
huge mecca. We were, in high school, it's this tiny little room, felt like
yes.
20 by 20 maybe under the bleachers, and this was a mecca, just. two complete dumbbell racks from 5 to 150, and I'm like,
Yep.
what? But first thought I had was 150s.
Yeah, me too.
Who's going to use those, And then no kid, the first day I walk in there from, so looking around, I see the dumbbells and I see the complete line of Cybex equipment, which was at that time, and probably still is the peak, for rehab and any other kinds of machines, they're just top flight stuff. And then 15 power racks with, everyone had their own bench, so you could roll the bench in and around, the bench would adjust
Yeah.
all these extra bars and all the plates. Like you didn't have to go to any other station. You just go right to your power rack and do all that. So I'm just going,
Yes.
oh my gosh, and then often weird little places where places to jump rope, places to touch on the Vertec,
Oh,
different
yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
areas, stuff like that. This is 1982 now. So,
Yeah.
and I'm looking at that and then that thought of who would ever use these 150s. Sky walks up and he's got to be 6'3", about 245, and just jacked, huge guns. He walks up, picks up the two 150s like they're
Oh,
peas,
geez.
and just sits back, sits on an incline bench, and
Oh, no.
just
Oh, my
I was
gosh.
just like,
Absurd.
I,
Yeah.
I go, who is?
Ooh.
And then,
Oh,
oh
wow.
yeah, well he's graduated already. He's getting ready for the camps, and
Oh, sure.
I was just like,
Yeah. My bench max was 100 ever. I was
right?
so proud
Oh
of
my God. It
100.
was a great weight
That's
room,
wild. Yeah.
great facilities, all that
Yes.
stuff. And that was,
Yeah.
that was one of the biggest things for me. Like you said, the level of the athletes for sure. And then, just the facilities and then the knowledge behind it, which
Yes.
kinesiology has grown a lot since I was in the major. I remember I graduated in 1988, and then I didn't start doing my master's program till I was in my early to mid 30s. Like,
Hmm.
I'd already been born, and I just never gotten around to it. And then it was like, oh, well, if you want to move up the pay scale, right?
Yeah.
Want to move up the pay scale. So every year you make more money just because you've been there another year, but you
Yep.
also start going to your right with the more
Hmm.
education you get, right? So
Right.
I
Yep.
had to get my degree backwards. I did everything wrong there. I never planned my career, teaching, coaching, whatever.
Yeah.
I went through and I was going to be the world's greatest high jumper and I was going to go to the Olympics and I was going to make all kinds of money and that was my plan.
Yeah.
And it didn't turn out that way at all because I didn't even get to the trials. So it was like, okay, and I got to be 28 years old. I was like, okay, now what are you going to do?
Hmm.
And fortunately, I had finished my degree, but I hadn't done a thing with it for 4 or 5 extra years of training. And so
Hmm.
it was finally like, I guess get a better job. So when I got a job teaching, everything was backwards. They hired me on an emergency credential, so
Yeah.
took 5 years to get that.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I think
Yep.
I got my master's faster than I did the credential.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, but
Okay.
when in the master's program, I learned stuff. I'm just like, wow, this is kind of different than what I remember. And then just a few years ago, when I was starting up the business, I met a guy, Aaron Washa. Shout out to Aaron. He's been a guest of mine three
Cool.
different times, and he was
Oh,
a
cool.
Michigan State product and a really excellent physical trainer. And the reason that he came to my attention was I saw him do like
Mm,
21-inch box jump, 2-footed box jump on
yes.
Instagram, right?
Cool.
And he's like 5'11", 6 foot white dude, jacked, guns and everything, but just super explosive. And
Yep.
we started talking, and he was telling me about triphasic training, and I'm like, what in God's name is triphasic training? And all the stuff that he'd been learning, I'd never even heard of before. And I was
Mm,
like, man, everything's just progressing so fast in these, and inside of pro sports and even amateur sports, there's so much
yeah,
money and so much interest in keeping your athletes not only just, you
for
know,
sure.
trained to the highest possible level, but then
Hmm.
getting them to survive whatever the season is without exploding or getting hurt, right? If they do get hurt, you want to rehab them and get them back
Yeah.
on the field or on the court or whatever you're doing, as fast as you can. And so, I mean,
Hmm.
there's so much money to be made that they just say, well, we'll just invest in the research, so
Yeah.
training methodologies and, all that stuff. It's just nutrition. Gosh, I remember
Wow.
I tried to take nutrition stuff when I was at UCLA, and it was like there really wasn't that much to do. They
Yeah,
didn't have anything yet. It was like, I remember
sure.
one class that was just so, I was like, this isn't what I was really hoping for, but it was inside the major, so I stuck with it. But I was like, yeah, this is what
Yeah,
I was thinking it would be. So
sure.
now, I mean, plus with the
Oh, it's
weight loss
wild.
industry, right? So you got nutrition's and they keep finding new stuff all the time. So,
Oh, all the time. It's changed immensely since I was there 12 years ago. I
mhm.
mean, the nutritionist for our team was kind of like, make sure you're eating, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah, and we had to seek out like a one credit nutrition class if we wanted to know more. And it's
yeah,
interesting. It's changed so much. The
yeah.
science behind it's fascinating.
Well, it's one of my personal pet peeves right now in this
Yeah.
country, which I love. I can't imagine living anywhere else and doing the stuff that we do, and I'm so thankful to God for our country and our,
Hmm.
the ability to have free speech and the ability to work
Hmm.
hard and make yourself
Yeah.
a better person and all those things. And
Right.
at the same time, I'm like one of those retroactive people. I'm like, why is 70% of our population pre-diabetic or diabetic in this
Yeah.
country? It's like, oh, you eat crap. It's like,
Yeah.
are they interested in fixing us? No. I think
No.
I think it's this big conspiracy. It's like, oh, you're all diabetic. Well, you must need Ozempic and you must need this. So all of a sudden the pharmaceutical train is hooked up and everybody's just getting, it's like, and oh yeah, well, you got to have insurance to do that. So now you're getting the insurance angle.
Yep.
The pharmaceuticals is like, oh my gosh,
Oh,
seven of the biggest companies in the Fortune 500 are insurance companies.
yep.
The
Yep.
pharmaceuticals cannot be far behind that.
Right.
It's like, don't you go to the doctor to get cured?
Ah,
Like, I want to get cured. I
yeah.
don't want to have somebody go, oh, well, here's how we'll manage your thing. Like, no, no, no. I don't want to be a diabetic anymore. I don't want to be
Exactly. They
diabetic.
just manage the symptoms, put a
Yeah.
band-aid. Yep. Yep.
Let's fix the problem. Let's not just,
Mm-hmm.
because those commercials, they drive me crazy because they'll go, okay, so here's what they'll do, but then they give you the 2-minute disclaimer on the other stuff, right?
Yeah.
My wife says, well, they got to cover all that stuff because if they don't, you're going to sue them when you take that and you get that. I said, well, I get that too, but I'm like, at the same time, it shouldn't be a 2-minute blurb where the guy's talking as fast as he
As
can.
fast as you can. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like,
It's like, it should be like, okay, you might get this,
man.
you know,
Right.
if you got the wrong blood type or something, you should be careful, but it's like, no,
Right.
yeah.
No, it's sad in my opinion. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But
pretty sad.
fortunately, if you're
Yeah.
athletic, then you're like, okay, how do I
Yes.
maximize, and you're talking, I know it's really taboo with women, especially to talk about their weight
Yeah.
as they're competing. I mean, I know as a male coach dealing with female athletes, I don't think I've ever once told an athlete they either needed to gain or lose weight.
Hmm.
I'm just like, I do not want to be that guy.
Sure.
So,
Yeah. Right.
and then have them go aggro on it,
Yep.
and then, they become bulimic or they become this or, it's like, it's not that important. It's like,
Right. Right.
you
Let's
know,
get you stronger, but let's not
yeah.
even talk about, yeah.
I mean, if they come to you and they say, what do you think? I might say, well,
Sure.
for high jumpers, especially like strength to weight ratio is everything, right? But it's like,
Yep. Yep.
at the same time, I did my best jumping at 195 pounds. And in
Yeah.
high school, I weighed 180. And both of those are actually pretty high numbers for a lot of high jumpers.
Okay.
Guys are taller and thinner. Like the guys that I jumped against at UCLA, Lee Balkan was 6'4", like 160 maybe.
Yeah.
Dell Davis was like 6'1" or 2 and like 155. I was
Yeah.
6'3", 180 in high school. And when I got to UCLA, I put on a half an inch and 15 pounds.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden that first year I couldn't get off the ground because I weighed 15 pounds more, and
Yeah.
get that much stronger. So,
Right.
I mean, I think a high jump is probably the one of the most of those where you're like, yeah,
Yeah.
the extra weight, you better figure out a way to make up for that. But yeah,
Sure.
I
Sure.
wouldn't
Yeah.
say, boo about that because like I said,
Yeah.
not that important, but you could
Yeah.
and you could, I'm sure, like I just don't have enough knowledge in that area still. I'm amazed when I watch the transformations of these actors for movies like,
Yeah.
Chris, what's his face? Chris Hemsworth for Thor.
Oh,
In the first Thor
yes.
movie, he was just jacked. And I remember just going, oh my gosh, who is this guy? And then,
Hmm.
and then other movies, he'd be lighter, not as heavy, not as buff, not as,
Wow.
and you're like, is that the same guy? And then another Avengers movie comes, and you're like, oh,
How do you do that so fast?
I'm
Yes.
sure of course,
Yeah.
have steroid testing. So,
Sure. Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but that is what it is. So, well, hey,
Right.
let's get to we're out of the glory days at Stanford. So you finished there, and
Yeah.
then how did you get from Wyoming to Stanford? We know that part. How'd you get from Stanford down here to the Southland instead of being up there?
Yeah, I met my now husband when I was a freshman at Stanford. He was a sophomore, and we have been together since. And so in 2014, after we got married, we've been married 11 years now.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
11 years. That's amazing.
Thank you so much. He got a job down here, and so I really was like, wait, what? We're building these strong roots in the Bay Area. What's happening?
Right.
Okay, but I'll do it. So just kind of like like many couples, you support your
Right.
spouse, and so I we came down here, and all I had was the visions of downtown LA. I didn't even really know much about LA. We competed at USC. I actually don't remember competing at UCLA very much or
Yeah, I don't
ever.
know what it is about
I
the
don't know. I
two.
don't know either, but we competed at USC, but you know how it is. You like come to USC campus. So I didn't have much of a lot of knowledge of
Yeah.
here. So we actually moved to Santa
Nowhere near as
Monica.
pretty as UCLA, by the way. Just in case anybody out there,
Yeah.
UCLA is a gorgeous campus. Nothing
Oh
that's
yeah, I've actually
similar
had
to.
I've been fortunate to so one of my best friends, 800 runner at Stanford, went to UCLA Law School, and I was able to kind of walk around it with her, and it's stunning. It's
Yeah,
gorgeous.
yeah,
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
place to hang. So
Yeah.
he moved down here. You obviously came
Yeah.
with him. Your guys already married, and
Yep.
you were had to be a kid in by then, right? So
Just about. Yep.
much, yeah. And then so you came down here, and do you have to start from scratch with the teaching, or was it like just
That's a good question.
as a
So it's
resident?
interesting. He came down here for a year while I had just started my Santa Clara program,
Okay,
teaching credential. It was actually 1 year teaching credential plus master's, so I was lucky. It was intense, but it was lucky that it was all combined into one package.
right.
So that I stayed up there, well, and did that while he worked down here, and then moved down here, so we could be together. And then yes, I right after my credential program got a job teaching first grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's close by Redondo. Is it a long drive for you to get?
That was we moved to Santa Monica originally, and that's where we had our first kiddo, Micah. And I taught in Westchester for 3 years there,
Right, right,
first
right.
grade.
You mentioned that. Yeah.
So that was like 20 minutes. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
And that was also kind of my first real experience of coaching track, with the elementary, middle school kids there,
Yeah.
which was cool. But I mean, they didn't have a track; they had like a field.
Yeah. Yeah.
Teaching what long jump is. It's fun, but
It's
it's
weird
different
at the
than.
junior high level. Like,
Yeah.
I was lucky that I grew up in Long Beach because Long Beach had a pretty good, it's a big city. And then they have
Yeah.
parks and recreations in Long Beach. And the parks and recreation, we always did all these sports when I was a kid. We played flag football, we played basketball,
Mm,
we played softball,
yep.
we did track and field. That was my first
What?
track and field
That's cool.
as a sixth grader.
I feel like that's pretty rare.
And then in junior high, we actually were competing against the other junior highs in Long Beach.
Okay.
They had
Cool.
that, but it was both. They had Parks and Recs and junior high stuff. Now, most of the places that I
Mm.
talk to, when they have junior high, maybe they have one meet,
Yeah.
everybody all in one shot. But we
Yeah.
used to have individual duels against everybody, even way back in the day. It seemed
Cool.
like. So, but yeah, what was it? So you came down. How did you end up at Redondo? What was the connection?
Yeah. So it is kind of a funny story. We decided to move to the South Bay in late 2019. We were just kind of looking for we love Santa Monica. It's a great area. It was fun for, 20s.
Yeah,
I think we were looking for, I don't know, just the kind of more of the South Bay vibe, like a lot of young families we know live here,
yeah,
and um I mean, so is Santa Monica, and they're both such dreams. It's
right.
amazing. But yeah, decided to move here, and then We ended up buying a home. We're also very fortunate. I mean, it's crazy in this area, but very fortunate. And but we found it, and it's literally next door to Redondo High School. So I can like see teachers while I'm doing dishes, like walking to their cars.
Yeah.
So it was late 2019. Then it was right before, no, what was that? COVID hit and happened. So the high school was obviously,
Right.
isolated. There was no one there. But we were like in awe of the facilities, always walking out
Right.
with our one kid at the time. I got pregnant with our second kid, and everyone was back to high school in 2021. And around that time, there was a really awesome videographer for the school who also was like the gate guard near our house. And I was always interested in coaching, but my husband was like, "Hey, she would love to, like, is interested in coaching." He just one day, like, said it for me. And he was like, "Of course, let me put you in touch with the head coach, Coach Bob." And the rest is history. I mean, that was 2021, early 2021. And that was an interesting season because state was like late June or something
Right.
because of COVID. So that was my first experience and I was pregnant but yeah, just kind of got in there and met the amazing coaches there, and they were so welcoming. And given my background, they were loved having a jumps coach there, so it was
Yeah,
great.
well, that I haven't said enough about Redondo, I don't think, in my what an amazing place. It's
Yeah.
literally like a little junior college. It's
Oh my
beautiful.
gosh.
It's a
Yes.
huge mecca of fields. That there's a football field with a track, and then right across the way is two soccer and softball diamonds,
Yep.
golf practice area, then
Yeah.
tennis courts on either side with baseball and softball on either side of that. And then the
Yes.
pool as you walk up to that. And then there's a double-decker gym. I'm just like, this place is amazing. Huge weight
Yeah.
room, couple of them.
Yes.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
I've seen both junior colleges and colleges that are way less equipped.
Totally. Totally. Including, I mean, my high school, like you were talking about your high school, it
Yeah.
was decent, but not even near.
No, no,
Yeah.
it's huge. I
The
mean,
weight
I've been
room. Yeah.
to Los Alamitos has got a nice campus and lots of nice facilities, and Santa Margarita has got a lot of money and nice facilities, but no room. And
Yeah.
there's just nothing but space in
Oh,
that.
I know. Yeah, it's very
It's
sprawling. Yes.
a gorgeous place.
Yeah.
And like you said, the coaches are awesome. I've
Yeah.
known it's been 7 or 8 years now. Like I started losing
Yeah.
track. I think my first year or so in the business, I hadn't done anything with Redondo yet. And then I came up
Hmm.
with the idea of trying to sell myself as instead of doing individual sessions, I said, I'll come to your school and do a team clinic. So, if you don't have a jump coach, which I knew many places never find a jump coach, and if they do, it's a
Yep.
volunteer parent or it's a former athlete, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
So, if your guys are always getting their butts kicked in the high jump and you think you have some talent, but you don't have to do them, I'm your guy.
Yeah.
So, and it didn't even work out that way at Redondo because the guy that asked me to come help was the former jump guy, um, Peter, I want to say Jankowitz.
Okay.
He was a 7'4" high jumping decathlete in college.
Wow.
And his son was training to be a decathlete. And their other kid, Hunter Bode, was also
Yeah.
a decathlete. And Peter's like a jet
Wow.
setter. So he'd be around and every once in a while he'd pop in, but then he's like, I'm not there enough. So he got me started there and then just kept coming back, and then Coach
Yeah.
Matt, I didn't
Yeah.
meet Matt until his daughter Mackenzie was a freshman.
Yeah.
Matt came in with Mackenzie, and
Hmm.
Matt's just one of my favorite people on the planet. He's
Same.
just one of those gems of people that's just like salt of the earth and
Oh, 100%.
he's
Yes.
such a great person and he's just got a heart for those kids. I mean,
Yep.
I don't even know what the colors are there. What Redondo's red. So
Yeah.
you cut him, he bleeds Redondo red, that's for sure.
For
He loves
sure.
kids and works hard and is the energizer bunny of all time. If you're
Absolutely.
listening, if you're out there, just picture the pink Energizer Bunny, except he's like 6'5", really rangy and just buff to the gills. He looks like he's still
Super
in his
buff.
30s, and
Yep.
he's amazing.
Yep.
So yeah, he's been a lot of fun. But the
Yeah.
group there is just every year there's talent,
Yeah.
and pretty much hardworking kids. Not always, some of
Right.
them are just out there to socialize, but
Yep.
for the most part, we get enough talent to deal with and get them to go somewhere, which is a lot of fun. So
Definitely. Yeah. That's been
yeah,
my experience as well. It's
awesome.
been really
Do
cool.
you have any what's now the one thing I wanted to ask you about, since you and I don't get to cross paths that often, is
Yeah.
are you still just the two jumps, or you mentioned the hurdles? I know you've done some of the hurdles in the past. Are you still on those, or do those get broken up? Because I know there's a lot of hats to be worn out there from you.
There really are. Before having our third baby, that season when I was pregnant with him, I tried. I did. I mean, I coached the hurdles also, along with jumps. And then after having him, I realized I was just right now with this young kid's season of life, I just don't
Yeah,
have the bandwidth,
right.
which makes me really sad. I love the hurdles. It's a big passion of mine. But so when I see them practicing, I'm always like tempted to, coach. I got that itch, but I just want to make sure that they have a coach they deserve who can be there,
Yeah,
and be really as committed. I felt like I was kind of stretching myself too thin,
yeah,
between going back and forth between the jumps. I was watching one jump and then turning around and watching the hurdle, and I'm like,
yeah.
it's not giving each of them my
Tough.
best self. So,
Yeah,
but I do know, and I listened to the podcast with Coach Derek Knight with you. I mean, I think some of the hurdlers have excelled immensely with his coaching.
oh
What
yeah,
an incredible coach. So if they, they have access to his coaching, he's wonderful. And
yeah,
I know he, helps some of them out. And just seems like an incredible coach, really. So talented and amazing. So right now, I think Coach Matt has the hurdles really under his purview.
uh,
But then with those that can work with Coach Knight also, that's been working really well too.
yeah. He's only out there on Saturdays usually, right? Saturday
Yeah, or
and/or
Sundays. Yeah,
Sundays,
one of those
depends
two.
on how he's got his schedule. But yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
he's wow. Yeah, that's another thing
Yeah.
I keep wanting to tap into. Like if I
Yeah.
had my druthers, I would just probably do like famous UCLA people.
Yes.
So,
Yeah,
hey, I
that'd be
remember you.
sweet.
Let's, because I mean, Derek was great. He came up to me, my senior year at UCLA. They
Hmm.
brought in, well, so let's go back. My junior year, Kevin Young, who became the world record holder in the 400-meter intermediates, and
Yeah.
one of the most
Yeah.
amazing athletes I've ever been around. He
Yeah.
came in as a freshman. So my junior year, he was there. And
Hmm.
my senior year, they brought in Henry Thomas, they brought in Mike Marsh, they brought in Danny Everett, and all of those guys, except for Henry, became just staples, like U.S. Olympic team, gold medalists, this, that. My senior year, those three, or all four of them were on the 4x4. I don't know if Mike Marsh ran the 400. He ran the 100 and 200.
Hmm.
Annie ran the four. Henry ran the four. We had
Man.
always had a bunch of guys that could run a 400, but
Yeah.
literally had three or four of them that were really good. So
Yeah.
I remember we went to a big invitational, SMU, before they got the
Hmm.
death penalty for football, which was
Hmm.
1986. The next year, I think they invited us as a team, and they said bring your top 15 or 20 athletes. They didn't even say which events. They just said bring your top,
Whoa.
and we'll
Sure.
get this meet. And so, man, we had a showdown with
That's
SMU
cool.
4x4 that was just rock. That place was crazy. And that was
Wow.
the first time I got to travel to Texas. And I kind of fell in love with Texas. I got
Yeah.
to say, Texas people are just really nice, and they treat
Yeah.
us like kings there. I mean, they were
Yes.
like, "Oh, you guys are from UCLA," and they're just like, "You must like it there." Blah, blah. And they'd talk to you, and, "Yeah, you
Oh,
need a shirt
cool.
off the back, here you go." And it's like just great people, and
Yep.
just a fun meet, like high energy. I think
Oh,
they beat
cool.
us by a hundredth of a second. I mean, something stupid.
Ah,
You can come
wow.
back. at the NC2As because that was my only year was of making the NC2As as my senior year, and we went and came in eighth for the first time, which had been like maybe 6 or 7 years or something like that since we'd gone and had a real presence
Sure.
at the nationals. And then, of course, the year after I graduated, we won back to back.
Oh, of course.
And
Dang
I was
it.
like,
Yeah.
timing is everything, right? And I literally finished ninth, so I wasn't an All-American.
Wow.
I
Oh,
think somebody told me that if
so
they have an
close.
honorable mention or second team, I must have been second team because I finished ninth.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Nobody
That's
ever.
an incredible accomplishment, though. Yeah, it's
Well,
wonderful. Yeah.
thanks, but
Yeah.
I didn't jump super well. I was jumping
Okay.
earlier in the year. I was jumping better, but it would,
Hmm.
I had my knees were bugging me by the end of the season.
Mm,
I had patellar tendonitis in both knees from overtraining. So that's
dang.
things I've been trying to avoid as I get older. But anyway,
Sure.
the whole,
Yeah.
the all these great athletes. I think I had Kevin Young on, and we talked for 2.5 hours. You want to talk about hurdling and stuff because I hadn't seen Kevin in like 30 years.
Wow.
I had left the team in '86, like I said, and he was only a sophomore that year as my senior year. So he had 2 more years.
Wow.
And then he, of
Incredible.
course, the great sprint coach John Smith was at UCLA, and so all those guys were
Wow.
his guys during the college season, and then they just
Hmm.
roll with him through
Yep.
to the big meets and right on into the Olympics. So he had Steve
Yeah.
Lewis, he had Danny Everett, he had Mike Marsh, he had all these guys, and
Wow.
that was an amazing time. I am kind of bummed that I wasn't on campus, and I'm still bummed that I didn't never redshirted.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
need to redshirt because I never got hurt. But at the same time, I was a walk on, and my freshman year was terrible. So
Hmm.
it have shut me down at any time my freshman year and
Mm.
come back. And
Yeah.
that would have been that magic sliding scale because I didn't even graduate till '88. I took a year off
Yeah.
to train for the trial. So I mean,
Yeah.
it would all worked. I would have been on an NC2A championship team.
Yeah. Yeah.
My life is a series of some of the worst timings. That was one of them. But
Dang. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
what is coming up next with you, Jordan? Because
Yeah.
you said you're taking some time off, but it's only
Yeah.
from the teaching, right?
It is, yes. And that was part of our big discussion, my husband and I, and he is incredibly supportive with me in for my like for coaching, for me to do coaching. He's so supportive for me to coach and which is a commitment with three little ones. He watches them all Saturday, you know how long track meets are, everyone listening,
Yeah.
I'm sure does. He
Yeah.
watches them all Saturday every day, every time we have a meet. And so super supportive. I still plan on coaching the long and the triple jump at Redondo. And just really excited for this season. It's starting to ramp up. And then yeah, taking a break from career just to really focus on being a mom outside of coaching track.
Yeah.
And which is wonderful. As you know, it goes by so fast. So our youngest is 1.5, and I can't even believe, and he's our last one for sure. So we're just, I want to soak up the time with him, and the others are in school. I do have a big passion for girls in athletics and getting girls, young girls, um, just, whatever their passion may be, just helping them find that. And I know that it just seems like there's such a need for empowering young girls with sports, especially when they kind of turn 10, 11, and their bodies are changing and they don't like, it feels different to run. I
Yeah.
feel like so many of them give up on it. And if we just had coaches or even, and you probably can speak to that a lot as a PE teacher and with high
Oh,
schoolers and kinesiology major, but
my
I
PE kids
just,
don't want to do anything.
yes, yeah, right. It's
It's a
like
weird
pulling teeth, I'm
generation. We're
sure.
really getting
Yeah,
hit by the COVID. Those COVID years are really hitting us.
man. So I see somewhere down the road, whether it's, starting a little club or a group or what have you, but I feel like that's kind of calling me also, but I do want to remain in, as a coach at the high school level as well. So I have found it like incredibly meaningful. And like you said, Coach Matt is just a wonderful coach to work with. We also have a wonderful sprint coach,
Yeah.
head coach Bob. It's just the best crew. I'm inspired every day. I think you said this too. There are some kids who have some great talent and really want to be there, and it makes it so worth it to be there. And at since this will be my sixth year, my sixth season. There's one girl who I was able to coach triple jump all 4 years, and last year at the banquet, gave me this just really heartfelt speech about how I've helped impact her life as a person, on a positive
Right.
level. And that I'm like, that's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm taking time away
Yeah.
from my kids. It's not just to make sure they're getting that second and third phase
Right.
right. But or that's also super cool when things click and
Yeah.
they learn the triple or long, and that's so rewarding. But also it's just really the best to
People.
see them grow as people. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I plan to stay in this as long as I can, as long as they'll have me and yeah, as long as I
What
can. It's
about
wonderful.
your kids? Are they got to be athletes, right? With mom and dad being athletes, so they
Yeah, I mean, our 7-year-old's just now getting into the AYSO bug here, You know how it goes in the South Bay. Everyone's into
yeah.
soccer and she's loving it. I personally don't want to push track too hard on her because I don't want her to burn out or, I don't want her to have resentment or anything, but I definitely bring her along to practices with me and have her watch or try a few things out. Or I
Right.
kind of make little games out of, I'm teaching
Yeah.
her bounding, but I'm really more like trying to treat it like a game, like
Yeah.
at the crosswalk. Let's see if you can go left, right, left, right.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of trying to be sneaky there, or we have like the middle plastic, the
Right.
hurdles, and I have her go over those.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, she's getting into soccer. I can see that she's got some speed. My husband's 6'7", like you were mentioning. He should try high jump sometime, but he's 6'7", like 175.
Wow.
He's got a high jump frame for sure. But I'm 6'1", and so she's got that tall,
Oh yeah.
slender frame, but she's got the speed, we can tell. So we're getting excited. She's trying out
Basketball and
basketball.
volleyball
She's
too.
trying out basketball. Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. She's starting the Hermosa Beach youth basketball in the next month, and then
Yeah.
doing some little volleyball, little beach volleyball. One of her classmates, mom's was a pro player and amazing coach, so kind of that's really lucky with
Yeah.
that. So we're trying not to spread her too thin. She's 7,
Yeah.
but dipping her toes here and there. So we got
Yeah.
soccer, and then the 4-year-old, we just tried soccer for the first time, and he cried most of the time. Stood on the field. We're like, if you just stay on the field, you can do this. But the last couple of games, he actually ran around a little bit. So that's just he's just getting
Yeah.
into it a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think it's weird that you bring that up, the scheduling thing, because I think
Yeah.
one of the real temptations and one of the pitfalls here in the States, I can't speak to all the other countries because I
Yeah.
don't think it's hit quite the same way, but the cell phones and the pads and the computers and COVID and
Yeah.
everybody being separated. And then it's like really relearning how to communicate. There's a lot of kids
Yes.
who don't communicate very well at all. And I think when I say kids, I mean, I'm just a big kid. So it's real easy to disassociate sometimes. And, I've done that when I've been out to dinner and you look around at it and there's four people sitting at a table and they're all looking at their phone, and I'm just like, man,
Oh,
I gotta,
man.
I gotta break this thing,
Yes. Yes. We
It
talk
can't,
about getting one of those lock boxes sometimes.
yeah, it can't
It's
be that important.
wild.
Or maybe you have it,
No.
shut off for a couple hours at a time, right? Like
Yeah.
set. Just go, okay, take in the messages, take in the emails, but just don't give me any notifications of any kind and
Yeah.
just, literally shut down unless I enter some special code.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes. Yeah, because it's very clear how addicting it is. It really is. Yeah.
And it can really, it affects a lot of things, but there's
Yeah.
so many temptations out there and time wasters, really.
Oh, yeah.
You can scroll for 2 hours and all of a sudden you're just like, oh my gosh, I was
Right.
asleep and I didn't do my homework and it's like so
Well, I don't know if you tried to find me on Instagram, but I haven't posted in years. I like barely have a presence because I love how much track stuff is on there, but I can't even like find it in my own to regulate myself. I will get on there and scroll and scroll. So it's an all or nothing thing for me.
right.
And every once in a while I'll hop on. I'll be really diligent to look at a track thing and then I'll hop off because I can't even I will get caught in the scroll. It's
Yeah.
like it is a dopamine
Oh yeah. Yeah. I heard
junk,
about
you
that.
know.
There's an extreme. Yeah. It's what do you call it? Gratification response.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Thing has
So
you click and you get something that you like, and it's yeah,
yeah, yeah.
addictive for sure.
Right, which I mean is a whole, you could do a whole nother podcast about it, but I find really interesting now with the NIL and
Mhm.
having to have that social media presence for those
Yeah.
kids and their image and
Well, it's
it's a whole,
huge.
it's
It's
really
huge.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. And then AI is exploding everything too.
Oh
So
my gosh, yes.
it's crazy. Well, if you saw my files on Instagram, like
Yeah.
it's stupid. Like I literally put all of my lifts that I want to do. So I was like, okay, I want to do my power. So I said, okay, I'm gonna just squats, cleans, step ups, lunges, hang cleans, snatch. So I
Yep.
put them all in there. And then as I would be looking, invariably, here's somebody doing a really good quality snatch. And I go,
Yeah.
oh, follow, save, stick
Yep.
in that file, and then
Yeah.
then I came up with my what I call my auxiliaries, which is like hip flexors, glutes, adductors, whatever. So then I
Great.
put
Yeah.
those down and I'm like, I would see somebody do something because for me, this is like it's peeking behind the curtain. If
Yes.
I ever
Yeah.
watch somebody doing their training in Sweden
Oh,
or
that's
in
huge. Yeah.
Argentina or in India, I'm like, what are they doing in there that I'm not doing? And I
Yeah.
look like, oh, okay, I do that. And then other times I'm like, oh man, that's a great idea.
Totally.
Steal it immediately because I know
Yep.
exactly what I'm going to use it for. So I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
so I'll put drills over here, put weights over here, I put plyos over here, I put speed over here,
Yeah.
all of a
Yeah.
sudden, if you went through my files, it would take you like 2 days to get through all the stuff that I
That's
have.
smart though. Yeah, that's
But
smart.
it's,
It's really
you know,
organized.
the other thing I
A
need to
cool
do
tool for that.
is put one, and it generally happens on its own, but I need to put one that's just podcasts. And then there's always
Oh,
people
sure.
that when I see them, I'm like, oh, I wonder if they'd be interested in doing a podcast.
Yeah,
So, based on what the performance was, based on what they're doing,
sure.
young young gal a couple weeks ago from South Africa who is a senior, coming up to be a senior. Her
Hmm.
school year is just now ending. They have a weird schedule there. So
Okay.
she's just starting in after the break and everything will be the start of her senior year.
Hmm.
And she's like I want to say 182 high jump, almost 6 feet already
Wow. Wow. Wow.
as a
Wow.
junior in high school.
Oh
And
my goodness.
really nice young gal. And talked
Wow.
with her
Cool.
and had a great conversation. She was like, saw the jump, really technically very solid. And then, sometimes it's just like you can tell it's like, oh, they're just real athletic and they're super flexible and they're really light. And I'm like, I don't know if they're going to stay that way.
Sure.
Times that happens in their freshman year or sophomore year,
Hmm.
but she's, progressing. And of course, you're jumping close to 6 feet. She's getting recruited everywhere. So,
Sure.
talking about, oh yeah, I went to this school, that school, so it's like, so that's fun. That's another category. But yeah,
Yeah.
amazing
Yeah. Oh, I bet. That's
recruiting
cool.
ground. And then the whole,
That's
like you're
cool.
talking about, it's literally in a lot of ways just work, and I sit down
Yeah.
and, oh, okay, yeah, this is pretty good. And, but like plyos and speed trainers are like a dime a dozen.
Oh,
Everybody got
yes.
their own, and you look and it's like, oh yeah, this is,
Yes.
he's got his website, he's got this, he's got that. It's like, okay, super
For
smart
sure.
business.
It is, but to be able to have all of that at our fingertips and pick and choose what we want to do,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's incredible. I'll sit down to plan practice and do that, and
Yeah.
I'm like, man, we're really lucky. I don't know how did coaches do it 30 years ago? Like, I
Yeah.
guess the clinics. That's how my coach. I mean, he learned a lot from coaching clinics and just from experience. But to be able to have this tool is incredible.
Excuse me. Yeah, I don't remember when I was younger, right after I graduated UCLA, I started coaching at Orange Coast College.
Hmm.
And, everything back then, the phones weren't that good. You couldn't video anything. It's like if you video,
Yeah,
you have the big cameras. The stuff that I have is either gone or worthless in the form that it's in because it's so grainy,
yeah,
old, videotape. And I never saw anything good on those anyway, because it was just hard to look at. And then
yeah.
I'm thinking back, like sometimes the kids will ask me, like, what did you used to do? I'm like, I don't even remember. I know
Yeah.
that I was a double armor and I know I was pretty strong, but I said, I see you guys getting in way better positions than I ever got in. And, so I'm just like, it's really now,
Yeah.
like you said, I mean, I've gotten all these views where I've gotten to experiment and look and go, I like this view for this. I like this for this. I like this drill for that. It's like
Yes. Yeah.
refining itself, as I'm going through it. Every once in a while, my
Right.
brain starts to revise everything. Go, okay, you're already out of date. You need to get
Right. Me too. Yeah.
this, get rid of
Yeah.
that. Yeah, it's an amazing thing. And then, throwing these other coaches from around the world, it kind of reminds me of the world of science in that,
Yeah.
for the longest time, all these scientists were working on different pieces of the puzzle with no
Oh,
intercommunication.
wow. Yeah, absolutely.
Now we've got this amazing, like Google Translate. I've
Sure.
talked to
Yeah.
some of these athletes in other countries, and I just write what I'm saying in English, and I go, "Where are they from again?"
Yeah.
Slovenia. Okay,
Yeah.
so I look it up. Ask Google, what's the language they speak in Slovenia? Oh, it's this, and I can see it on what they're writing. Sometimes I see translation, and other times I'm like, "What language is that?" But then it types out this nice thing for me, so I'll be like, "Hey, I saw your thing, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Are you interested in a podcast?" And
Yeah.
for English, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
To be able to reach out to them even. Yeah. And Google Translate. That's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Very cool.
amazing. We got a huge world at our fingertips.
Ah, for real. Yes, for real. I mean, just to be even like, can I find, I have a few jumpers who really need help with that second phase or even just transitioning from the first phase to the second phase. Give me a few drills for that.
Yeah.
I mean, wow. Boom. It
Yeah.
gives me 5 drills. I take them off to practice, try them all.
Yeah.
Some are great for them. I film them, remember them, document them.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Cool. It's cool
Yeah.
for the athletics world. Yeah.
And a chance to really network quite a bit as well.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Keep up with everybody. The one thing I'm finding is it is kind of hit and miss. Like sometimes I get somebody that responds right away. Yeah, I'm interested. And
Sure.
you start talking with them a little bit, and then all of a sudden they just go away. I'm like, but
Oh
I
boy.
remember when I've done that, when I'll be
Yeah.
going through and I've got, DMs coming a
Hmm.
lot because people are like, hey, you want to post this on your site? You want to do that? Okay. And then
Yeah.
certain requests, blah, blah, blah. And then friends. And then all of a sudden you go, where's that one guy I was talking to?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's
I got to
happened to me.
search because
Yeah.
I
You're
won't
like,
really
whoops.
remember their name. So I'm like, look, 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 look. Did we talk? Was I just,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, oh yeah, they're like 100 people down.
Yeah.
So you can see why you get lost. So I'm like, I'm always trying to remember. I'm like, how come they never got
Sure.
back to you? It's like, oh, well, they're probably super busy and I got lost in the chain somewhere.
Yes. Yeah.
That's why when I follow back up, I'm never offended if they go, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't get
Sure.
back to you. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Sure.
Who am I?
Yeah.
You're the one jumping 6 feet in high school. You know, pretty amazing.
So you coach high jumpers. Do you coach any other events? And what else does your company do, the Sky High and Fly, besides the podcast?
Um, that's a great question. I do pole vault.
Cool.
I've done all the jumps. My first job out of UCLA was at Orange Coast College, and my
Cool.
mom at the time to get me out of the house, I was just like the guy in The Graduate, Dustin Hoffman. I was like sitting in the
Hmm.
pool, getting a tan. She's like, "You need a job." I'm like, "What
Yeah.
for?" You got me here. She's like, "You need to get out. I'm gonna kick you out." So I went to Orange Coast and they
Yep.
hired me on the spot. Oh, you're from UCLA. Okay. And I was just the jumps coach. So I started doing high, long, and triple. And even though I didn't have, I had enough to get by in those, but I actually started as a long jumper, but I've never in my life done the triple and I have no interest in it whatsoever. My
Hmm.
coach after 2 years at UCLA was Baru Elias, who was a little Romanian guy at Long Beach City, and he was
Yeah.
amazing. He taught me all that I know about cycling, taught me all that I know about high jump takeoffs, getting farther away from bars, it goes up, blah, blah, blah. And I
Yeah.
learned everything from Elias through the filter of his you must beat the guy. I am the great athlete, and he's like 5'3", wearing these little specs and
Yeah.
his old man shorts and black socks and loafers. and I'm just,
Sweet. Yeah.
who is this guy? 2.78 high jumpers. He had routinely had 25, 26
Wow.
long jumpers and mid 50s triple jumpers at Long Beach City. So,
Wow.
you learn all that, so I was like, okay, I mean, I
Yeah.
did enough triple jump bounding in his high jump program because we would
Sure.
do 7 leg repeats, or
Hmm.
7 repeats left leg, 7 repeats right leg, switch
Yep.
bounding, so I could do it and I had a good enough eye, but it wasn't like my passion because the high jump was it. And I
Yep.
actually, I do, it's a close second. I really do like the pole vault. And
Cool.
I love the pole vault community. I think the pole vault
Mm,
community is one of the most fascinating things to me in
yeah.
all of the events,
Yeah.
because they all are like pulling for each other, which is just growing up playing football, you don't pull for the other team. You try to
Yeah. Yeah.
pull
You're
for the
competing
team.
against each
I'm
other.
happy to shake hands with you afterwards, but I'm not
Sure.
rooting for you
Right.
during the
Right.
event.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, there were guys that I competed against that we would see each other and I'd be like, shake hands. Hey, I saw your name in the
Sure.
paper last week. Oh, you jumped 6'9". I'm going to kick your butt today.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
and we didn't
Right.
talk. We did not talk.
Yeah.
We'd get warmed up and I would sit down on my mat or whatever and, do that. So, um,
Yeah.
but anyway, all the jumps, pole vault, and then
Cool.
small little taste of the multis,
Hmm.
maybe only in an advisory capacity. Like like I said, I've got a good enough eye, and with the biomechanics from Kines, I can point out the tiniest, most obvious things, maybe in the javelin or
Yeah.
a little bit about hurdle technique here or there. Because usually what I'll do is I'll say, I know this is very similar to what you do when you go hurdle, because I'll have an
Hmm.
athlete who comes up and they start to jump and they start hunching their upper body forward. I'm like, no, no,
Mm.
no. You're a hurdler, aren't you? And they go, yeah. I said, you can't do
You
it.
gotta forget that. Forget
You
that over
can't move your
here.
upper body forward. You got to stay back.
Yeah.
I know that's different because you're used to doing the other thing when you attack. But I'm like, that doesn't.
Yeah.
So I know enough to be dangerous in some of those things. And I used to hang around at practice when I was at UCLA because we had such great coaches like you're talking
Sure.
about. And I would
Wow. Yeah.
learn from Art Venegas, who's one of the best throwing coaches in the world.
Hmm.
And then Anthony Kern, one of the best pole vault coaches in the world. John Smith, arguably the greatest sprint coach, if not
Mm.
ever one of them. Him and Tom Tellez have to be real close because, Tom Tellez had Carl Lewis and
Hmm.
John had multiple guys. So it's just
Wow.
like,
Yeah.
and when
Yeah.
you talk, and rarely for me, usually my ego is too high and I'll be like, okay, I don't really need to listen to this guy. But when it came to all of those coaches, I
Yeah.
listened and
Yeah.
picked at and applied what I could. I was always looking for universals, what I would call universal,
Yes.
what
Yes.
translates between all these, because I've told this story before on the podcast, Jordan. I saw this. I was with the throwers one time, and we went to eat. And first of all, if you've never seen any of the weight guys go eat, it's an experience.
Oh yeah. No, we did. We
We went
went.
to all you could eat tacos down in Westwood, five
Uh-huh.
dollars all you could eat, double wrap Mexican tacos.
Uh-huh.
And somehow I came in third in the eating contest that ensued,
Wow.
which I don't even, I don't know how I did that, but I was pretty hungry. But then
Well done.
went to Bruin Bowl and we went bowling.
Oh wow.
If you've never been bowling with weight throwers, you never bowl like everybody else. Like it wasn't competitive bowling where they're trying to keep score.
Sure.
The idea of fun was to throw the ball as hard as possible and hit the pin and make them explode.
Break the pins. Yeah.
Yeah, if they could have turned them into powder, they would have. But it, it was like
That's
most
hilarious.
insane
Yeah,
because
I'm
they're
sure.
so much more athletic than people realize. These really good
Oh,
people.
so
They're not
explosive. Yes.
ponderous or slow because they're squatting like 2 and 3 times their body weight. So they're amazingly
Yeah.
quick for as big as they are. And
Yeah.
when I'm standing there, I'm watching this guy pick up the 16-pound bowling ball like it's a twig or a pebble.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden it's like, boom, he takes like 3 running steps, cocks it down, wham. And when he jumps and throws it, the ball is just rocketing
Oh
down
my
lane. I'm just
gosh.
watching, oh my God. And it goes boom. And all the pins flew into the back of the wall. All of
Oh
them started jumping
man.
up and down. And it didn't matter who did it. Like oh, that was perfect. You hit the pocket and it exploded. I'm just like watching that going,
Oh my
this is
gosh.
insane. These guys,
Yeah, yeah.
and when you see something like that, you're realizing, okay, I need to watch these guys lift because
For real.
that
Yes,
kind of explosive power and speed is unlike anything else.
absolutely.
Yeah, that was the
Absolutely.
the extent of the coaching. Then you also asked
Cool.
what other services. So I offer training programs and
Okay.
I do video analysis. That is a process where I'll
Great.
someone's the best videos they have, break them all down. I've broken the high jump into 5 phases, and I break them all down in those, and then I'll give them a Zoom like we're doing, and go
Yeah.
over all their stuff with them. I'll make recommendations for technique changes if they're interested.
Hmm.
So the training programs are one, video analysis
Cool.
another. I have Zoom classes that developed during COVID. So
Cool.
I was bored, didn't have anything to do.
Yeah.
We couldn't go, we couldn't teach with the kids. We were teaching from home, which was weird. And so to keep my sanity, I started doing, Zoom classes based on those 5 phases
Yeah.
and
Cool.
still sell every once in a while on the site.
Yeah.
I need to go through and kind of upgrade them. I think it's been a little bit, and like I said, my knowledge base keeps changing, and the technology is getting better. Like you said, with the AI and stuff, I might be able,
Yeah.
even quicker than I did before because it was kind of time consuming before, but I had the time. Now I don't. So
Right.
that's why those have been there for like 6 years now. I'm like, man, did I really build those in 2021? It's almost 2026.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm trying to think, is there anything else? I do the training
Oh,
sessions.
very
And when
cool.
you say the company is me. It's
Yeah.
just me. And then
Cool.
my number one jumper, Barbara Bachoka from Canada, she came down here and trained with me for a while. She's kind of like my tech guru and co-conspirator in how to grow the
Yeah.
business. And she's come up with some of the ideas on the training programs and how it looks. She designed my website. So yeah, she's done a lot of
Wonderful.
stuff for me there. But I still have not trained one disciple, acolyte, what do you call it? My Padawan. I have
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
one of those. I have the kids that I've trained, and
Hmm.
if they have carried it onto their coaching, I would be pleased to know that. But I
Yeah.
haven't seen any of mine yet that have gone on to be coaches
Got
themselves.
it.
I got
Yes.
one, I think, up at Cal Poly Pomona. Kevin Schmidt has helped out a little bit, but
Okay.
none of them that are really, have jumped in to coach.
Yeah.
So actually, one of my you'd like her too. She's one of my gals from Garden Grove was my only. She won high, long, and triple her senior year and the hurdles, so that would get both of us. And then
Yep.
she went to Orange Coast and became a heptathlete. And then
Wonderful.
I don't know if she went anywhere after Orange Coast. Uh,
Hmm.
Really tiny, twiggy, but she jumped 5'4" for me in high school
Wow.
and
Cool.
5'6" when she was the heptathlete. Her
Yeah.
and her sister both have the school record. They both jumped 5'4" for me.
Wow.
And I had them
Wow.
8 years straight. I had the first one for 4, and I had the second one for 4.
Fun. That's cool.
And they won it. They won the
Yeah.
high jump like almost every year between the two of them. So it's like
How fun. Oh, that's
easy as a
incredible.
coach, right? I'll throw one of the How girls at you. Good luck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So,
No, that's really cool. Really cool.
thanks. I don't think I've ever had anybody ask me to pimp for myself on my own podcast.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Awesome. Well, hey, I know
Well,
it's getting
here.
late and you're the mother of three, so we'll have to cut
Yeah.
this short, but I love talking and we'll have to maybe get down to more brass tacks on training next time.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love that. I really
Now
love
that
that.
everybody
Thank
knows
you.
how Jordan Justice got to be who she is and what she's doing down here in the Southland. And
Thanks. Yep.
yeah, it'd
Yeah,
be awesome.
no, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I really enjoyed talking with you. I can't remember the last time I actually sat and talked track with someone for an hour,
Right.
you know? It was
Oh,
so nice. It's really nice. So I'd
oh,
love to be on
I'm just
anytime.
glad you were so stoked because I had,
Yeah.
some people are just, I think I'd kind of like to be the one way or the other, where either have somebody go, that sounds great, but I'm going to say no, or,
Sure.
because I think everybody's least favorite thing is like, oh yeah, that sounds great. And then never comes around, right? Every time,
Exactly.
oh
Yeah.
no, I'm doing something else that day. Oh no, I can't. And finally, after a couple of those, I'm like, okay, well.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. So it's
Yeah.
okay. It's not going to hurt my feelings, if you say no. But
Right.
yeah, when you said yeah, I remember just thinking, oh, this will be great, and I don't even
Thank
know
you.
why. Sometimes things are just completely off the cuff with me. But I was
That's
just
the best sometimes. That's how
yeah,
it works
like I
out.
said, I mean, really, I think even though I've known you for 5 years now or whatever, it's like, like I said, we get to spend about 2 minutes
Exactly. Yeah. I always see you from
talking before
afar.
practice.
Yeah.
Like I'm telling
Absolutely.
everybody, we're on opposite ends of the track. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's really, really nice to chat with you and get to know you a little more too. And I appreciate you giving me the microphone. It's been
yeah.
awesome.
Well,
Thank
let's
you.
do it again soon, Jordan.
I love that. Yeah,
All
thank
right.
you.
Well, hey, God bless you. Have a great night. Get some
Thank
sleep.
you. I will. Thank
See how
you.
your kids are going to wake up in just a
Yeah,
few hours.
for real. Yeah, for real. Well, thank you so much, Coach
All
Troy. I
right. We'll see you out
appreciate
there
it.
on Wednesday.
Okay, sounds great.
All
Thank
righty.
you. Bye.
Bye. And that's going to wrap it up here on another episode of Raise the Bar. I was glancing at the clock earlier and I was thinking we might get done in an hour, but then we just kept going. Jordan Justice, a high jumper, long jumper, triple jumper, mostly long and triple at the University of Stanford. Stanford was, of course, one of our rivals, but not our hated rivals from SC right across town. And as Jordan and I were mentioning, I don't actually ever remember going to Stanford, and she doesn't remember coming to UCLA, but we're about 20 years apart, maybe even more, probably 30. I didn't want to say that before, but I'm getting old. So, but yeah, she's a sweetheart. You just you have to be around her. I've never seen her be in a bad mood. She's super gracious and nice, and has a great way of getting across to the kids. And yeah. So anyway, we're gonna wrap it up here. It's getting late. I'm gonna try to watch a little Monday Night Football retroactively on Hulu. And until next time, here on Raise the Bar, it's Troy Haynes signing off. Have a good one. God bless you.